Hello everybody, welcome to another Fightrans video along with DubaiNews.tv. We're going to bring up a subject matter in this episode which I have been asked for the last several times to discuss in our videos here, which is about real estate and cryptocurrencies. Of course, we all know that in the current environment, in the current times, when you're talking about wealth management or financial freedom or investments, it's impossible for us to ignore these two asset classes. Like in all our previous videos, we have discussed that we're going to talk about in short and crisp about each of these asset classes. In this particular video, we're going to move along and talk about real estate. What are the different ways to look at real estate investments? But before we move on with today's video, we should all understand that real estate investment is an essential part of our diversification of our investment portfolio in the wealth creation process. And that is why exactly in our first video, we did talk about certain facets of real estate investment. Even though we all know that physical buying of real estate is a time-consuming process and also many times it's illiquid. But at the same time, it provides many great advantages vis-a-vis other asset classes, apart from the fact that it provides a shelter on our head for all of us. Now, coming back to today's video, we look at the different ways that we can invest into real estate. But when we are talking about different ways of investing into real estate, we are not going to consider today the real estate developers, because for them, it's a core business for them. It's not an investment for them. The first and the oldest way that we all know of investing into real estate is that you buy a real estate to rent it out. So basically renting out properties. The only issue that I see there is that you need a much larger sum of money to invest. You might need a manager to look after your property. So, and of course, these large assets could be liquid as well, depending on the time that you're trying to exit those investments. Second, that also quite a number of people do, which is to invest into a vacation home. What that means really is that you buy a beach condo or you buy an apartment in a very touristic place, which you can use for yourself and family where you're on vacation, and the rest of the time you can rent it out. And that's again a normal way that we see everybody investing into with a significant amount of wealth that they have. The third way of investment, as you could see, is that where people talk about into buying a property which needs significant amount of repair. So they buy, fix the property, and then flip it. So you could see an old house being taken over by a real estate developer and then developing it into maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 apartments and then selling it out. So that's again a type of investment into real estate, but usually it is not common for normal investors like us. Usually it is very advanced, or real estate developers or people with a lot of experience in real estate who do that kind of investment. The most easiest and the one that I prefer the most while investing into real estate is to invest through the stock markets. We could invest into real estate investment trust, the stocks of real estate investment trusts. We could invest into real estate companies or businesses of stocks of companies which are related to the real estate sector. Now, real estate investment trust in itself is a huge area of discussion, and we will, in our next video, we're going to talk about the different kind of REITs that we could invest into. But it is important for us to know in this video that REITs is a very easy and a great way to have exposure to different asset classes in real estate, which is not possible through many other methods that we just discussed today. Of course, real estate companies are builders. We are real estate companies we have all exposure to, we all know of. We can buy into those stocks. And the other way could be to invest into companies which have exposure to real estate. For example, software companies, real estate brokerage companies, which are involved with real estate, which can give you a kind of exposure. The good thing about these investments is that they do not require a lot of money to invest into, and they're liquid as well. You could potentially exit those investments whenever you wish to do. Now there is a new way of investing into real estate, which is through crowdfunding. And I believe this method is going to become more and more popular with the times to come. The reason for that is that you could potentially have an exposure to real estate with a very small amount of money. So you could potentially diversify your investments into real estate by having access to these crowdfunding opportunities with a much smaller amount of investment in those. The only issue that I see potentially with these investments is that there's not a significant amount of track record, because this is a new way of investment which has been happening for the last 8-10 years only. And on top of that, there's not enough obviously data available for us to analyze at this point in time, but at the same time they're not as liquid as the investments that you have through the stock market or the REITs that we talked about just before. So today we discussed the different methods by which we can have exposure to the real estate investment asset classes, the different asset classes that real estate offers us. And before I end the video, I must say that there is no one best way for all of us to invest into real estate. Depending on our risk return profile, I hope there's one ideal way that we all can find to invest into real estate so that we can diversify our investment. Lastly, before I end the video, I would like to say that if you have a particular experience and knowledge that you would like to share on the investments or on entrepreneurship with the viewers through our channel fightrends.com, please make a small short video or a podcast and send it over to us at hello@fightrends.com, and we will make sure that we make it popular on our channel.